and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Mand. So I seen this video tag that Angel over from Feeding My Soul. I had to look over here because I have it all written down beside me to make sure that I got it right. I'll tag her channel, and the original VR is by Tarot is Magic, and I'll tag their video as well because I believe that tag is originally by them, and that is the hashtag Let's Be Friends. And I love the idea of this because then, you know, you get to know more people who are into tarot and things like that. I don't consider myself like a complete master of it or anything like that. I wouldn't say I'm totally a noob, but I do consider myself still kind of new in a sense. But before we get into the tag, if you love all things tarot, oracle card related, or spiritual, witchy, arts and crafts, which I promise will be coming soon, then do hit the subscribe button. I upload every Monday and Friday at 7:30 GMT time. And yeah, subscribe. I'd love to have you part of the family here, or the community, whatever you want to call it. I absolutely love it. And hit the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. I also have a coffee link down in the description box if you would like to buy me a coffee. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and get comfy, and let's get into the tag. This question is, what type of art are you looking for in a deck? Now, well, it's normally me that buys decks for myself, but sometimes I've been very fortunate that my fiance or sometimes family members have bought me tarot decks, and they're completely different to what I choose for myself. But when I'm looking for a deck, and the art that I'm looking for would be, I suppose, more kind of along the lines of like a painting, like it's drawn. I have two decks here, and I'll show you what I mean. Now, I know this, you all know I love this. This isn't per se like a painting, but it is that more kind of softer tones. It's not too harsh. I don't mind collage style decks either. I've noticed that's kind of one that I don't mind using, but I'm for some reason always slow on picking it out for myself. But this is kind of the art style that I prefer. More like softer, kind of I suppose if it was done by either watercolors, acrylics, oil paintings, or maybe pencil. That's another one. A deck that actually comes to mind straight away when I think about that is the Solitary Witch Oracle. That would be kind of along the style or the art that I would go for. This is the Green Witch Tarot. I should think there for a minute. So that's one, we'd say one kind of art style, but another one that's a great one that I really feel like really fits the decks that I love. I kind of like that kind of cottagey grandma vibe, and this is the Pastoral Tarot. I love this kind of art. It's so pretty, and I believe all these were actually drawn, if I'm correct. So I like that kind of art style, in depth, and whether it be by pencil or, you know, anything like that. I find this so fascinating. I absolutely love it. So that would be kind of the art type that I would look for in a deck. So the second one then is, what do you search for in a deck? And I kind of want to come back to my Green Witch Tarot. This isn't me just showcasing decks. This is also me answering questions, but just showing you something, again, along that lines of that kind of grandma, cottage, witchy vibes. But I do realise there is only so many decks in your collection that you can have of the witchy, cottage, earthy side of deck. So I do like to venture outside of that, but mainly when I'm looking for a deck, it's really that homey feeling in one way that I'm looking for. That's what I'm kind of looking for in a deck. I want it to be like home, but also be my best friend, if that makes sense. A deck that you're looking forward to working with, not putting it off because whatever maybe the reason, I can't really think of. I love this. Do you know, that's it. I want to be able to look at each card and go, even though, you know, some cards might be my favourite, well, I can't say that for this deck, but that's kind of what I'd be looking for in a deck. What deck are you most intrigued by right now and why? And if you've seen my video from Friday, you'll know that I picked up 3 new decks for my birthday. Well, 4 technically, because there's an Oracle as well, but these are the 3 tarot decks that I picked up. But this one I think I'm the most intrigued by, and that is the Rosebud Tarot. And for the reason being is not just the fact that the deck itself looks completely different to what I'd normally pick up. I do wish this would just focus now. Yes, hello. Okay, so this is like really vintage. I feel like this is actually focusing in on my... Okay, no. What is it doing? Okay. What deck are you most intrigued by right now and why? And if you see my video from Friday, you'll know that I got new decks and whatnot. But the one I'm most intrigued by, I'm intrigued by all of them to be brutally honest, is the Rosebud Tarot. I am so excited to work with this. This is such an interesting deck, not just because of the cards and the artwork on it. I'm sorry now that I'm showing off to this side, but for some reason my camera keeps focusing in and out and it's driving me insane. So I don't know if it's the candle that's triggering it, but these are so interesting. It's kind of like that collage-y old photo style deck, and I think the only one that I'd have kind of close to it in one sense is the Relative Tarot, and I haven't worked with that deck in quite some time. I don't feel like it's as bright as this, and I like bright coloured decks as well. But what intrigues me about this is actually the guidebook and the fact that they only have like a small little bit of a meaning. And it's more like poetry, and they only have keywords. You basically have to kind of come up with your own meanings. It's the longer you work with it, the more intuitive messages you're going to get. So basically, this is kind of like a start to making your own guidebook for this deck, and I think that is just amazing and so interesting, and I'm so curious as to see how this is going to work out for me. So that is the third question. And then the fourth one is, there a card in a deck you always check out first and why? Yes. 1 second, let me go find a few and I'll get back to you. So the card in a deck that I'll always check out first will always be the High Priestess. I am, for some reason, obsessed with the High Priestess in a tarot deck. Always. That's the one from the Green Witch. I think one of my favourite ones is the one from the Light Series. I will always look out for the High Priestess. It is the first card that I will look for. And then this is the one from the Rosebud, so that is the Witch. And then in the Pastoral, it's also the High Priestess, but I like the way she's seen as a little bit older. So these might be seen as more younger, whereas this one is a little bit older. I just love the High Priestess card. There's something very mystical, intuitive, magical, just in one sense the very feminine side of energy. Do you know that kind of way, that very intuitive, in the flow, really knowing herself emotionally. Anyway, that's the card I will always look for. Is if there was one card in a deck, or is there a card in a deck you don't really like, and would you want to miss out on it? And I was kind of looking through my light series. I'll just show you here. The card actually just fell off it there. And I don't think there's any card. The one that I kind of did pick was the Three of Swords, because I feel like this is the one card that is normally 9 times out of 10 always, and I believe Dawn Michelle has mentioned this, and I think Angel touched on it as well. Please correct me, Angel, if I'm wrong. But it's always depicted as like, you know, 3 swords poked into a heart, and it's all like kind of doom and gloom. And while obviously having your heart broken isn't the nicest of things, actually not a betrayal or anything like that, but I feel like there is more to. Now, I don't mind this 3 of Swords on, did I say 3 of Hearts? Oh my god, 3 of Swords. I don't mind this one in particular, but I just feel, I think it's more a depiction and not the actual card, because I feel like all the tarot cards are just, they're there for a specific reason, you know, they each touch upon different topics in our lives. So no, I don't think there's any deck or any card that I'd want taken out. Ones I might skip depending on the day. The Three of Swords, or you know, maybe occasionally if the Tower or the Devil came out, I'd be like, not today, do you know what I mean? But no, I wouldn't want to take any of the cards out. I'm going to stop counting because there's no numbers beside them, and I'm not sure I'm going to get them right. But the next one is, I'm going to show you actually the Divine Feminine Tarot while I'm talking, so that we're not just staring at a blank screen. But it's, what is your favorite or least favorite, oh no, sorry, yeah, what is your favorite or least favorite card in tarot, and why? I really feel like those two kind of tie in with the last questions, to be brutally honest. Again, one of my favourite cards will always be the High Priestess, but I also love the Queen of Pentacles as well. And I also love the Moon card. My least favourite, I suppose, would be the Three of Swords. And probably the Ten of Swords as well. I don't know why all the swords are coming up here. But I don't think I have any least favourite. I think it depends on the day. Like, I don't mind the Tower, because I feel like, you know, there's a lot of growth within each card. You know, there's something that can be taught in each card. So no, I'm not. I don't think there's any least favourite or favourite card. And what do people close to you feel about tarot and you doing tarot? Everyone's supportive. I have to say, everyone's supportive. I think most of them know me more as an intuitive reader, like an oracle card reader. More so, I don't really read tarot for others. I do oracle, because I think it's more a mind block for myself, that I'm more like, I feel like I did, see, that's just it, I feel like I wouldn't be as good with doing tarot. So, which is not true. You know, it's not true, but I have more confidence when I read oracle than I do with tarot. And then the next one is, but yeah, how do people feel? They're really supportive, in fairness. Everybody's so supportive. Like, they're completely intrigued. They're always, you know, intrigued by it. And they, you know, if they have questions, I'll answer where I can. But how do you feel about the esoteric stuff in tarot? Oh, I'm here for it. I love all that kind of stuff. I don't mind it. I'm very much spiritual. I don't even want to say woo-woo, because I don't want people to think I'm like completely wishy-washy or anything like that. I'm not. But I very much like the whole spiritual side of things, and then kind of, you know, the very in-depth, again, esoteric teachings within tarot. I don't feel like it has to be a whole psychology breakdown of the subconscious and conscious mind and things like that. I do feel like there is an external factor, but that's kind of like a different topic for another day. Sometimes I find that kind of hard to explain. Well, I don't, but it's trying to get my point across without becoming rambly. But basically, I do believe like in higher powers, a spirit team, angels, and all that kind of stuff. So but I also believe like you have free will, and those choices are yourself, or you know, the choices you make are up to you. I don't believe like in this whole, oh well, you know, my spirit guides are telling me to do this. No, nothing can overwrite your free will ever. But anyway, like I said, that's a topic for another day. Where are we now? Rider-Waite-Smith, Thought, or Marseille, and why? Rider-Waite-Smith, because that's what most of my decks are based on. As you can see, you're probably sick of looking at this. I'll change this deck out. I have no thought. I have no thought whatsoever. No, I have no thought deck. I can never pronounce that. I do have, this is a Crystal Visions. I have a Marseille deck somewhere. I believe I probably got that with a magazine. But yeah, Rider-Waite-Smith, it's what I learned. This is actually the first deck that I had. So that's kind of what I learned to read it. It's what I'm most kind of comfortable with. And I'm not sure. I like to learn Marseille, alright. But then thought, okay, that is so difficult to say for me. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I feel like that is a lot of learning, and I have a lot of things that I want to dive into this year that I haven't even started yet. But anyway. I love this Hermit card. How cute is this? Yeah, this art style. I like this art style. What are your thoughts on cardstock? I wouldn't say I'm overly snobby, but I can be slightly picky. I have to say the Divine Feminine is a little bit on the thinner side, especially for the price point. Especially, that's where I'm coming from with that. With the price, with what it costs, I do feel like it could have been splurged on a little bit more with the cardstock. For the reason being is, this is the Dark Mansion Tarot. It's one of the very few indie decks that I own. I love this cardstock, but I don't, I love this cardstock, but I don't use this deck a whole pile. I don't know why, I think I'm always trying to mind it. I like the cardstock. I love the rose petal feel. I don't know, is that one of the... Anyway, I like the rose petal feel. I know a lot of people don't, but I like it. It's a texture thing with me, I think. I love it. But as for, like, cardstock, I think if I had to pick, Llewellyn's are probably my favourite. More than likely my favourite. Bags or boxes. And I have to say, right, so I will show you these anyway, but I am definitely a keep the deck in its box, because it's easier for me to store, okay? It's just way easier for me to store. But what I will say is, when I'm working with a deck during the week, because I change out my decks weekly, I will always, 9 times out of 10, put my tarot deck in this, because put it in a bag. The reason I don't, I think Angel has the same problem. I would never be able to remember the name unless I had the box. I applaud everyone who remembers the name of each deck that they own and the authors and all that stuff. I wouldn't have a clue. So I literally just use it for a weekly thing. The only one that actually lives permanently in a bag is my Starman Tarot. And I think I have a Rider-Waite-Smith. There's very few that are in bags, but yeah, my Starman Tarot pretty much lives in this bag. But like, you can tell from the front of it what deck it is. And then, because obviously I have a weekly tarot, and I also have a weekly oracle, and that lives in this box. And this box was given to me by my mum. This was hers from many moons ago. So my oracle card stay in here, and then I have like a couple of crystals and feathers and things like that, so they all stay in there. So how did I learn tarot or get into it? I actually have a video. I'll tag it below if I remember to, but I'll yeah, it's only a few videos back. I think it's the 5Ws, and that was another tag and how I got into it. But basically I got the it was true tarot tube basically. That's how I got into it, and then how I learned it was just by drawing a card every day, and intuitive. I read very intuitive, and I read lots of books, so that's pretty much how I learned. How many decks are on your best news in tarot world you have heard lately? I haven't heard anything, not off the top of my head. I haven't heard anything. I haven't been overly consuming too much because I don't want to get caught in the trap of like buying a whole load of decks and things like that. I'm just trying to be mindful again of the decks that I am buying. And how many decks are on your to get list? There's a few. There is a few, all right. But they're not tarot decks. I think there's more oracle. But as in for tarot, I definitely think it's the Danielle Noel, the Moonchild. But I think, is it like the dark version or something like that? That's the one I'd really like to get my hands on. Or any Baba Studio. I think the Alice in Wonderland is what I think Angel said the same. I'd love to get my hands on that, but I cannot justify that price for sure. If you could only keep 3 decks, which ones would you choose and why? Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to think about that, and I will get back to you. Far. So if I could only grab 3 decks, I actually just made myself do it here. I was like, if I only could grab which ones, it would be the Green Witch Tarot, without a shadow of doubt. That's coming with me. I love this deck. I will forever love this deck, and yeah, that's the one I would grab. I would also grab a Divine Feminine. Yeah, and here was me absolutely, no, I wasn't bashing the card stock, but I would bring this because it is one of the decks that Jamie got me. So it's for sentimental values more than anything else. Plus, these cards are amazing. I do love doing readings with them. I normally reach for this for like new and full moon readings. But yeah, this would be one of them. And I bet you a lot of you thought I was going to pick the Starman Tarot. But no, because I feel like I can replace that one pretty quickly. It's not an issue. I would grab my Dark Mansion Tarot because it is my very first indie deck that I took the leap and splurged a little bit more than what I usually would on tarot decks. Because again, I like to use them. I don't want to just have them in a press looking pretty. So there are the 3 decks I would grab if I had to, but hopefully it will never come to that, because honestly I think I'd try. I would be the person trying to get them all out the door. So how does knowing tarot influence your everyday? I wouldn't say it influences my everyday. I would say that it definitely helps get me in a good mind frame. So it might give me a heads up, or it might give me a pep talk. Depends on the day, but it's not here to... Oh, that's the word I'm looking for. Oh, my wonderful fiance landed home from work. So I was on how does knowing tarot influence your everyday? I think I answered that. If you could turn back time, I'm going to show you the Witch Sister Tarot while I am chatting. If I could turn back time, would you have learned tarot any other way? I might have taken a class or 2, but I am actually signed up for a tarot course in May. So no, probably not, because I feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. So, and then the next one is, what are your thoughts on the 3 of Swords? I feel like I answered that already. So there we go. I know that question had come up, but I totally forgot about it. I only quickly glanced over these. So how many decks do you have right now? Oh, I must, like, as in overall with tarot and oracle cards, it must be what, over 110, 120. I'm not sure. It's over 100 anyway. It must be at this stage. If you could befriend one person on Tarot Tube or in the tarot world, who would it be? Oh, I don't know. Can I not befriend everyone? I'm not great at making choices. I want to befriend everyone. But if I had to pick one, I think think it would be either Lisa Pepez or Dawn Michelle, to be honest. I just love them two so much. What is your favourite part of the day to do tarot? I love doing tarot in the morning or late in the evening. It's just kind of when my intuition works best. Or not even just that, it's when I have time to be cozy and sit down with my tarot. But really, when is my favourite time? In the morning. I prefer it because it sets me up for my day. And last, excuse me. Oh my goodness me, I'm so sorry, 1 second. The joys of having animals is a confession. I don't know. Do I have any confession when it comes to tarot, to be brutally honest? Not that I know anyway. End of the video, I realised I never lit my candles in the last one. That'll tell you where my brain is at today. So thank you so much to Tarot is Magic for making this tag. This is so fun. If you've done this tag, let me know. I'd love to watch it. I love watching people's answers and responses and things like that. This is such a really kind of relaxed, cozy one to do. And yeah, let me know in the comments below if you've done it, or is there any question that you love the most that you want to answer. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.